The crucible arena stretched beneath 3 crimson suns, its obsidian floor stained with the blood of 1,000 species. Marcus Chen stood in the preparation chamber, his hands wrapped in crude bandages, listening to the roar of 70,000 alien spectators hungry for violence. The translator implant behind his ear buzzed with their jeers and laughter. A human? The voice belonged to Krithal, a 9-foot Vexorian champion whose exoskeleton bore the scars of 300 victories. His mandibles clicked in amusement. They send us a soft skin? What's next, a Peluvian infant? The other gladiators joined the laughter. There were 12 of them in total, representing the deadliest warriors from across the Andromedan sector. Each had earned their place through blood and brutality. Marcus was the anomaly, the newest addition to the roster taken from Earth during a routine scouting mission gone wrong. Your species has no natural weapons, continued Jara, a reptilian sauron whose tail had crushed the skulls of 40 opponents. No claws, no venom, no armored skin. You barely survived your own planet's predators. Why are you even here? Marcus said nothing. He'd learned that silence preserved energy better than words. His body was smaller than theirs, weaker by every measurable standard. He had no scales to deflect blades, no enhanced musculature granted by heavy gravity evolution. He was by all accounts the arena's comedy act before the real bloodshed began. The gates groaned open, and the gladiators were herded into the killing floor. The arena master's voice boomed across the stadium, introducing each fighter in turn. When Marcus's name echoed through the space, the laughter intensified. Betting terminals flashed across the stands, and his survival odds dropped to 0.3%. The first match was a free-for-all. 12 enter, 1 leaves. The signal blared. Immediately, the arena erupted into chaos. Blades clashed, energy weapons discharged, and alien war cries shook the air. Marcus moved to the periphery, observing, calculating. This was his advantage, the one thing his species had perfected over millennia of warfare. Humans didn't just fight. They adapted. They strategized. They endured. Krithal spotted him retreating and laughed. The human runs. What did I tell you? The Vexorian champion charged, his massive frame covering ground with terrifying speed. Marcus didn't run, he waited. At the last moment he dropped low, rolling beneath Krithal's sweeping claws. The move was simple, something any human child could execute, but in a galaxy where most species relied on raw power, it was unexpected. Krithal stumbled, his momentum carrying him forward. Marcus was already moving. He grabbed a discarded blade from a fallen gladiator and drove it upward into the gap between Krithal's exoskeleton plates. The Vexorian shrieked, not from pain. His kind barely felt it, but from shock. No one had exploited that weakness before. The arena fell momentarily silent. Then Jara attacked. Her tail whipped toward Marcus's head with the force of a battering ram. He twisted, but not fast enough. The impact sent him sprawling across the arena floor, ribs cracking, vision blurring. Blood filled his mouth. The crowd roared its approval. This was what they came for. Marcus struggled to his feet, every breath agony. Around him, the remaining gladiators circled, sensing easy prey. They had seen him bleed. They had seen him broken. Now they would see him die. But they had made a critical error. They had triggered something ancient, something encoded in human DNA through millions of years of survival against impossible odds. They had awakened his rage. Marcus's vision narrowed to a tunnel. The pain didn't disappear, it transformed, becoming fuel rather than hindrance. His breathing changed, deeper, more controlled. His muscles flooded with adrenaline and cortisol, a chemical cocktail that turned ordinary humans into something beyond reason. The first gladiator to rush him was a 4-armed Krell warrior. Marcus caught one arm, using the alien's own momentum to wrench it backward until the joint shattered. Before the Krell could scream, Marcus had seized the creature's weapon and driven it through its throat. Jara attacked again, but this time Marcus was ready. He dodged the tail strike and grabbed it, feeling his hands burn from the creature's acidic skin. He didn't let go. Instead, he pulled, dragging the massive reptilian toward him, and slammed the blade into her eye with savage precision. The arena had gone quiet again, but this time the silence carried a different weight. Fear. One by one, Marcus dismantled them. A Horvath berserker rushed him with ceremonial axes. Marcus took a blade to the shoulder but drove forward, headbutting the alien's face until the skull cracked. A cybernetically enhanced Dracon fired plasma bolts. Marcus charged through the pain, closing the distance, and used his bare hands to tear out the power core from the alien's chest. He didn't think anymore. He didn't feel. He was a force of nature, a reminder of why humanity had clawed its way to the top of Earth's food chain despite being weaker, slower, and more fragile than nearly every predator that had ever hunted them. When the dust settled, Marcus Chen stood alone in the center of the arena. His body was a canvas of wounds, his clothing torn and soaked in a mixture of his blood and that of 11 alien species. He swayed on his feet, barely conscious but still standing. The crowd sat in stunned silence. Then slowly the applause began. Not mocking laughter this time, but genuine recognition of a warrior's skill. The arena master's voice trembled as he declared the human the victor. In the preparation chambers later, as medics worked to save his life, the surviving witnesses spread the word across the galaxy. They spoke of the human's fury, his refusal to die, his ability to transform pain into power. They spoke of a species that looked weak but carried within them an unstoppable rage, a survival mechanism that had allowed them to endure ice ages, plagues, and predators that should have driven them to extinction. The gladiators had laughed at Marcus Chen because they thought strength was measured in claws and armor. They learned too late that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't written in their biology. It was written in their spirit, forged in the fires of countless battles against a universe that had never stopped trying to kill them. And that spirit, once unleashed, was truly unstoppable.